Hi, my name is Michelle Crespo, and this is my presentation on the Tyler model. So, a quick historical context. It started after the Great Depression, Progressive Education Association. This is when Dewey's views became popular and it opened the door for other ideas. And so, Tyler's idea was progressive, was a moderate model, and therefore people started to look into it. Before he came out with this book, he did an 8-year study, and later it became the premise for basic principles of curriculum and instruction in 1949. That's where most of his ideas are written, and most people cite that source. After the Great Depression, America was going through a really rough time. There were concerns being raised regarding the accountability in education, and the objectives provided a clear end goal for students with Tyler's view on curriculum reform. Again, he was a moderate model. Tyler advised President Truman on reforming curriculum in 1952, and then the Johnson administration used Tyler's advice for education bills and programs. He took a scientific approach. Now, what is Tyler's model? Well, in his model, he believes in gathering data from learners, contemporary life outside of school, and the subject matter, filtered through educational and social philosophy and the psychology of learning. And then term objectives have goals, educational ends, educational purposes, and behavioral objectives. It was developed in the 1940s, and obviously his name is Ralph Tyler. Just a basic background on the Tyler model. Now, his rationale. It comes to four questions. What educational purposes should the school seek to attain? What educational experience can be provided that will likely attain these purposes? How can these educational experiences be effectively organized? And how can we determine whether the purposes are being attained? Okay. It is deductive. It goes from a broad and general focus on society to a more specific focus on the student's needs. That means that he believes in looking at society's goals as a community and students' needs as students, as individuals, and combining that in order to make a curriculum that is specific to certain students, but also to the society's overall goal as well. So, an example is Tyler believed in considering the values and aims of a society as well as the nature of the learner. Things to be considered may be the developmental factors and student interest of the learner, and then the values and attitudes that the society had. Now, his model is linear, it had steps. It contained four parts: objectives, learning experiences, organization of learning, and evaluation. It involved an order from beginning to end, and his steps include, again, objectives, selecting learner experiences, organizing that experience, and then evaluating the curriculum that was given. Oh, it doesn't say, it's supposed to say perspective here. I mean, prescriptive, sorry. It's supposed to say prescriptive. There it goes. Yay, prescriptive. It shows what is done and should be done by the curriculum developer. So it is prescriptive. The procedures associated with this model: step one is to identify the objectives of unimportant and contradictory factors, the age of the child, as well as behavioral changes of children. The second step, selection of learning experiences. The third is organization of the learning experience. And then the fourth is the evaluation. It got cut off. There are advantages and disadvantages, as always. The advantages outweigh, to me, the disadvantages. So the advantages are that it helps learning become engaging for students. It is student-centered. It determines specific goals. It includes the philosophy of education. And that means that there's this idea that every student is important, regardless of their race, their gender, their social status, etc. So it does include inclusivity. It does include all children. This type of model is focused on making sure every learner gets what they need. It also focuses on psychology, so the age and development of the learner. It is not a model that just focuses on trying to get a certain goal and standardize all of the learning and assessments. It's geared more to what is developmentally appropriate for the children, what is happening in the child's life, and what is happening in society, using all those combined to develop a curriculum. Now, the disadvantages is that it does not include unpredictable natures of learning and teaching, and it could be limited to just the objective that is chosen. That means that it's very objective driven. If you choose one objective, it's like that's the only objective that's being evaluated. I think that that could be removed. You can still have a clear objective, and in your teaching incorporate other skills that you're assessing or teaching children. It just might not be the actual focus of the evaluation at the end. Now, resources that I used the textbook, obviously, the one on the bottom, and then I also used the article Analysis of Curriculum Development Stages for the perspective of Tyler, Taba, and Wheeler. Okay. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Have a wonderful day.